Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. Here at KrystalElaineTV, we are a lifestyle channel that is dedicated to encouraging and inspiring one another to living the best life and the blessed life that God has called us to live. So if you are into topics like cooking, cleaning, home organization, home decor, and then just talking about topics that are relevant to women at various stages of our lives, then definitely stick around, subscribe before you head on out, and I post videos every week, so you'll be able to get new content from me each and every Sunday, and I look forward to you joining our family here at KrystalElaineTV. So today's video is going to be an organization video, and it's going to start a new series here on my channel called Organizing with Friends. And the inspiration for this series on my channel comes from my love of organization. I just enjoy finding new and fun and simple ways to organize different spaces in my home, keep my home in order, and just keep things in a place where everything kind of belongs somewhere and I don't have a lot of clutter everywhere. It just really helps me to enjoy my space more and feel more relaxed whenever I come home from work, when the space that I'm living in is neat and tidy and organized. My friends know this about me, and so they have actually asked for my help. So I am not a professional organizer by any means, but it's something that I enjoy doing, and so they've asked me to come into their homes and their spaces and help them just kind of organize some areas that they maybe are struggling with in order to get them more organized. And so today we're actually going to be starting with my cousin, Andrea. We're gonna be going to her home and tackling some of the small spaces that she was challenged with. Starting out in her kitchen, we were gonna be looking at her pantry, which is very narrow, and then a couple of her kitchen cabinets. And then we're gonna head upstairs and tackle her dresser in her bedroom, where she keeps all of her makeup and hair and beauty products. So I hope that you all really enjoy this video. I hope that it gives you some ideas and some motivation to tackle some of the small spaces in your home that maybe are challenging you from an organization perspective. If you have ideas of your own that you want to share, make sure you leave those down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it, and let's get right on to the organizing.
Okay, so we are starting out in the kitchen pantry, and like I said, it's very narrow. She's got about 4 shelves and then some space on the floor for storage, but because of the width of the pantry, it was kind of hard to have things in a way that she could easily access them and kind of know where things are. So what we wanted to do was kind of group things better and just make it a little easier for her to get to things as she's going in and out of there every day. And then here we've got the first of the 2 cabinets that we wanted to organize this day. So this is the one where she keeps all of her spices and baking goods. And then in this cabinet is where she keeps all of her Tupperware and then some of her smaller kitchen appliances that she doesn't necessarily use on a regular basis. So those were the 3 areas in the kitchen that we wanted to kind of get a handle on and get some organization systems going in. And so the first thing that we did was we took everything out of each space that we were going to be organizing. So we started with the pantry and just started pulling everything out. The one thing that I will say about Andrea is that she had already decluttered everything out of her spaces for the most part. So she had already gone through before I got there, got rid of anything that was expired, anything that she didn't like anymore, anything that she just wasn't using. So that's actually one of my #1 tips when it comes to organizing any space, but especially a small space that maybe has a lot of things jam-packed in it, whether that's a junk drawer or a kitchen pantry or a cabinet that just has a lot of things shoved into it. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially in those spaces that we just don't go into or we kind of forget about, but we know that they're really junky and there's a lot of stuff in there. My tip would be to break it up into sessions so that you're not doing everything all at once. So Andrea had already decluttered, gone through and pulled the things out that we were getting rid of. And so it was a lot easier when we came back to actually do the organization to just focus on the systems and the bins and the storage containers and how we wanted to categorize and group things because she had already done the work of decluttering. Okay, so now that the lovely Andrea is modeling her Lysol wipes, this was a really good opportunity for her to go through and wipe down all of her shelves in her pantry as well as in the cabinets. You'll see her do that later. Now that everything is out, it's really easy to give everything a quick wipe down and make sure it's nice and clean before we start putting items back in there. Okay, these are some of the storage containers that we ended up using for each of the spaces that we decided to organize today. We have the larger black bins and then the smaller white bins and some clear containers. So we just kind of went through each of the spaces to see which bins would fit best in each space. I do like to use similar shaped items, so you can see she's got multiple of the same bins. So it's kind of nice when things are at least the same shape, even if they're different sizes, for fitting them into smaller spaces. All right, so here we are really just kind of going through and trying out the different bins to see what is gonna fit inside the pantry. As you can see, I was struggling a little bit to pull them apart, but these are the ones that we started with in the pantry. And so I'm just going through and kind of putting them on the different shelves, trying out different configurations, seeing what fits where. And you'll see we'll move things around later as well once we start putting her items back in here, but this was just kind of our starting point. And so then from there, we are going through and kind of grouping the items. So we started out with canned goods, like different sauces, pasta sauce, stuff like that. We put those all in one bin. She's got some canned fruits and veggies and that sort of thing. So here we are just kind of moving things around, like I said, playing around with the configuration, seeing what fits on what shelf, because the shelves are different heights, and also taking into consideration the things that she uses the most, those things that she's going to be reaching for every single day versus the items that maybe she just uses for recipes every once in a while. And so that also kind of helped determine whether we put things in the back or in the front, or kind of up higher or down lower where it's easier for her to access. So then here, just kind of taking a step back, we wanted to just kind of give everything a once over, make sure we liked the way it looked. And also you can see on that very top shelf, we did leave that bin in there. It's empty. We decided to do that intentionally. One, just because there's no need to clutter it if there's nothing to put in there. But then also whenever she goes to the grocery store, now she knows that she has a spot to put things. So now moving on to the two cabinets that we are going to be tackling today. And here we are again doing the same technique. So we are starting with pulling everything out and going through. There were a few spices I think that were maybe expired or some things she wasn't sure if she wanted anymore. So that's what she's doing there, just kind of looking to make sure she wanted to keep everything that was in there. But like I said, for the most part, everything was already kind of what she was going to be keeping. So we're just kind of pulling everything out, setting it down on the countertops. She's going to go through and wipe the shelves down. Then here we are going to start organizing all of her spices. And so I was using the smaller plastic containers that she got from Dollar General, I believe. If not Dollar General, it was Family Dollar, but you know, super cheap items that we use. And I just kind of organized them by size when it came to the spices, just that way she's able to kind of see everything easily and access it. And then some of the larger items like the oils, any spices that were in bigger containers, and things like that, we kind of left outside of the bins and just put them in a fashion that you can still see everything. And then for her baking items, these are things that she doesn't really reach for every day. And so we decided to go ahead and put those back on the top shelves like she had before, but we just kind of reconfigured them so that it would fit nicely. And when she did need to get to them, it would be easy for her to pull them out. So this is the spice / baking cabinet after. Okay, so now moving on to the last cabinet that we were going to tackle on this day, and that is her Tupperware cabinet where she keeps all of her food storage containers and then some of her smaller kitchen appliances. So what we did here was start by putting the kitchen appliances back on that top shelf so that they were kind of out of the way. She could get to them if needed easily because they're not blocked by anything, but at the same time they are kind of out of the way from her storage containers that she actually does reach for on a regular basis. So then here I'm just kind of thinking through the best way to place the items back in there. This cabinet was really not in bad shape at all when we started. So it was a matter of just kind of making sure that everything that was the same size and shape was together. And I decided to go ahead and just put all the bottoms on the one side and then put all the lids on the other side. And then that way she can go through and just kind of pick out what she needs whenever she needs it. And that was really it for that cabinet. So pretty simple, but it does look nice and organized now. So when you go to open those doors, you can kind of get at one glance everything that's in there and grab what you need. Okay, so now we are upstairs in her bedroom and we are going to be tackling her dresser that she keeps all of her beauty products in and any just extra products that she's not maybe using at the moment, but she has on standby as a backup. So we did the same technique here. Again, this is just something that I kind of live by when it comes to organizing, is to pull everything out. It just makes it so much easier to see what you have and really take a few minutes to just reassess, like, do I really need this? If I'm going to take the time to pull it out, do I really want to take the time to put it back in, or do I need to get rid of it? So it just kind of gives you another opportunity to further declutter and get rid of excess items that we're not using anymore, and then have a blank slate to go in and decide how you want to organize. Okay, so now we have an empty dresser to start reorganizing, and that bottom shelf were just some pillowcases and some bags that she keeps in there, and so that space didn't really need to be organized. Specifically, it was really more of the beauty products that we wanted to tackle. Since that last shelf we already knew what was on there, there's only about 3 items on there that were already kind of in the order that she needed them. So these are the bins that I showed before, but these are the ones that we decided on for the upstairs cabinet. We're going to add a couple small ones later on for some additional items, but these are the bins. And so what we did was, again, by kind of size and type of product, is how we organize this. So I would kind of put all the tall bottles together and then like the squeeze tubes together. Anything that is in like a jar or a container with a twist top, we kind of put those all together. Her oils that are in more like smaller containers and that sort of thing, we put all that together. So really just kind of categorize by size and type so that it's easy to see what she has. You can see she's got a couple duplicate items in there. So taking the time to declutter and organize your space really helps you not buy extra things and helps you save money because you can actually see what you have. So I think that was a really good exercise for us to go through. And then here we're just playing with the configuration of how to place the bins in the cabinet, we already knew that the bins themselves would fit. And so at this point, I'm just kind of going through and placing things on top where she can easily access them. They're things that she might use on a daily basis or a more regular basis. And then on that second shelf, we are placing the items that she doesn't get to every day. So some things that she just uses for travel. We actually ended up taking one of those bins out and putting them in the bathroom under the sink because she just doesn't use it that often. So here again, just kind of playing around with the configuration. We didn't have a specific plan going in. We just kind of had to see what all she had and what all we had to work with storage bin wise. And this is what we came up with. So overall, we were really happy with the way it turned out, just with the organization system that we came up with for each of the spaces that we were working with on this day. I think it's really easy for her to maintain and be able to see everything that she has and the things that she needs to replenish now that everything is kind of organized and decluttered. And so I hope that you all were able to take some tips away from this video and that it motivated you to organize some of the smaller spaces in your home. Like I said, this is the first video in a series of organizing with friends. So if you have any ideas of spaces that you would like to see myself and my friends organize and tackle in our homes, definitely leave me a comment down below and we will get to those ideas. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure that you are subscribed to my channel for weekly motivation. I upload videos every Sunday, and so I would love for you to join our family here at KrystalElaineTV. Thank you again so much for watching, and we will chat with you in the next one. Bye.